and they will be circulated to everybody, all the recommendations from the groups. Can I call on Fiamma Nierenstein?
Thank you, John, and thank you for everything you have been doing all along this marvelous conference. I won't take much time. I will only read our recommendation and a short premise without discussing it here, because I will also have another occasion to speak later on. I only want to thank here the members of our group who have been extremely instrumental in discussing the things in depth, and all of them showing great concern about this new wave of anti-Semitism and great competence in discussing the new attitudes of this terribly warring phenomena. So I'm going to simply read the Parliamentarians Forum about the new anti-Semitism. This is premises. The Parliamentarians Group meetings to discuss the phenomenon of new anti-Semitism recognizes the emergence of a genuine and novel form of anti-Semitism, characterized by the involvement of civil society, radical left and right secular movements, alongside religious Islamist extremism, particularly from Iran. Its main target is the Jewish state and its legitimacy. This new anti-Semitism has an enormous and pervasive presence and continues to grow all over the world, in the civil society, among the intellectuals, amongst the young, and in the universities. This new anti-Semitism is genocidal in a large part, and it clearly declares the intention of destroying the state of Israel. The group is highly alarmed by the increasing number of anti-Semitic episodes, and the recent rise in incidents associated with the Gaza war show how Western opinion can be misled in a direction that is one of pure anti-Semitism. Mindful of this new context, we hereby submit our recommendation. The first one brings the title of Durban. The new anti-Semitism is significantly bolstered by activities in the context of international organizations such as the UN. Its growing influence, alongside the work of NGOs in singling out Israel, greatly contributes to the rise of this new form of anti-Jewish prejudice. Given that the virulent anti-Semitic focus on Durban First is embedded in the planning and process of Durban II, this working group strongly recommends that responsible nations withdraw from participating in Durban II, or second option that reflects the opinion of several members of our group, we further call on any nation that were nevertheless to choose to participate in the Durban II conference to forcefully condemn in the strongest terms any display of anti-Semitism and to vigorously oppose any anti-Semitic statement, including singling out of Israel for differential treatment. So this is the first recommendation. Second recommendation, by the title of Media. We denounce the frequent use of old anti-Semitic stereotypes such as blood libel, conspiracy theories and double standards, mostly not exclusively related to media coverage and commentary on Middle East affairs, most recently seen during Israel-Gaza military operation Cast Lead. In this context, we call upon the media, and this is the work that the Parliament members should do in their own constituency, and in their own Parliament, to call upon the media to recommit themselves to balanced and objective coverage that refrains from singling out Israel for opprobrium or questioning its right to exist as the nation-state of the Jewish people. We call upon media regulatory bodies to adopt the European Union Monitoring Centre working definition and to ensure that media coverage and commentary published under their jurisdiction conforms to its parameters, which is something very practical that all of us can do in their own parliaments. We further call upon the media to ensure that complaints of alleged anti-Semitic stereotyping, whether in the context of the Arab-Israeli conflict or in other contexts, are duly investigated within the framework of the working definition, and mistakes are properly and prominently acknowledged and remedied. We recommend that the above-mentioned definition of anti-Semitism also be brought to our governments and be used as a reference point to evaluate alleged misrepresentation and stereotypical description of Jews, Israel, and its policies. We go to the third point, education. This conference feels that the universities are founded as centers of higher learning. They should operate as bastions not only of freedom of speech within the law, but also of free academic inquiry. We are disturbed by recent trends that use freedom of speech as an excuse to create an intimidating atmosphere for students and faculty, and to use anti-Jewish and anti-Semitic imagery, language, and stereotypes, often in the guise of unwarranted criticism of Israel and calls for the dismantling of the Jewish state. We call upon university authorities to ensure that freedom of speech within the law is upheld, and attempts to silence diverging views and stifle debate, especially in the context of academic debate and student activism related to Middle East affairs, be countenanced with utmost vigor. Because, you know, it's not only promoting freedom of speech, it's also not forbidding freedom of speech that many times takes place in the university with a politically correct attitude from the academic corps and from the student. So that seems to us very, very important, to monitor what is really going on as far as the professors and the students are concerned. We specifically condemn the systematic harassment of Israeli academics through calls for an academic boycott of the Israeli universities. We find it particularly odious that Israeli academics are asked to denounce their government policies as a precondition for participation in academic collegial activities. Oaths of allegiance have no place in academia, and we view their introduction as an assault of the most fundamental principles of academia, in addition to being expression of anti-Semitism, insofar as they target Jewish and Israeli academics for different treatment. We call on responsible states, that's our word, to ensure the protection of students and academics in participating in lawful debates. We also call on university administrators to openly address the issue of anti-Semitism in all of its manifestations on campus and in their online communities. We left this subject to the specific group that deals with the problem of internet, which is particularly disturbing. So we come to the Holocaust denial, and then we only have the law enforcement point. We have the two last points, Holocaust denial. The proliferation of Holocaust denial in all of its forms is a cause of great concern in recent months and years. Holocaust denials has spread to the Middle East conflict, where unfair comparison between Israel and Nazi Germany have become commonplace. Such reckless language is used to demonize Israel and also ends up trivializing the Holocaust. The phenomena of Holocaust denial in the past was confined to groups of self-defining historians. Now it has become a flag of Iranian politics that uses the trivialization and denial of the Holocaust as the main political reason for its genocidal intention to destroy the State of Israel. Iran is followed in this ideology by its friends and foes, including Hamas and the Hezbollah. Unfortunately, this anti-Semitic Holocaust-denying mentality can be seen in different Arab countries. And this is why, in response to this growing problem, we denounce also the use and diffusion of classical anti-Semitic texts in these countries, such as the Protocols of the Elders of Zion. We call upon our government to ostracize any foreign leader or domestic public figure and politician who deny, denigrates, and trivialize the Holocaust. We call upon civil society